For Reaper Metal Productions, I am Adam of Unbaptized Records, making a brand new video for you today. Today is part 4 of my black metal releases video. So I'm going through all of my CDs that are black metal, or as I've said before, black metal adjacent. So some of them are more experimental, some of them are more along the lines of war metal, and then some are sort of like Black Death, and some of them are two bands that were originally super black metal, I guess, more pure black metal, changed a bit to Black Death, or just changed a little bit. Maybe kind of hard to say with some of these bands, but you'll see what I mean later on. So, but definitely black metal adjacent enough, and I had enough to make about 5 or 6 videos, so I figured I'd throw them all together, try to organize them the best I can in likeness, but definitely tried to throw in some bands too that I feel like not a ton of people talk about, and then of course the classics as well. So this is a band I've talked about maybe once or twice, I don't really remember, but it's a very experimental black metal band, one that Reaper actually got me hooked onto by accident. He was selling some of his music, and I bought like the 3 7-inches by this band. They also have a 12-inch and then the CD compilation here, and I think they maybe have like one other release, but pretty much own everything by the band, and it's one that I doubt most people have heard of, and they're called Funerary Box. So this is really cool. There's a ton of songs here. So this is a compilation. It's got 29 different songs. Again, they don't have that many releases. They have like 3 or 4 split 7-inches. I own all of them. They have a 12-inch, and they have like a demo tape. But I think this covers everything. So if you're curious what they sound like, go ahead and grab this. This is called Temporary Internment, I believe. So if you're interested in the band, you listen to a song or two on YouTube, which is about all you're going to find on there, and you want to listen to basically everything they've released. It's about 30 songs, so you're pretty much going to get everything. Very interesting band, very unique. Not something I thought I would like, but very outside my norm, and I'm glad I listened to them because I actually really do enjoy them. And the B-sides are even weirder, so the bands that they did splits with are even weirder, even more experimental, and I'm kind of glad I listened to it because definitely something I normally wouldn't have picked up, so glad I kind of stepped outside my wheelhouse, so I highly recommend Funerary Box. Next, similar to bands I've talked about in the previous videos, and a band I actually talked about in my A to Z, is a Polish black metal band, because there's a lot of Polish bands out there, especially that I enjoy. I have generally a soft spot for Polish bands. This is the band Thronium with Morbid Death Tales. So Thronium is just your typical black metal band. Really nothing extra to say about this, but definitely a release that I was glad I picked up. I think I actually accidentally grabbed 2 of these. I don't think I have the second copy anymore. I'm pretty sure I traded it or gave it away. But this is a fantastic release. Basically everything by the band is great. I showed off the picture disc with the Deicide cover. So Thronium's awesome. Polish bands are awesome. You know, Polish death metal bands, black metal bands, absolutely everything. Pretty much out of that country is great, and I did show in a previous video what I was listening to, and I had the album The Lost of Mercy by the Polish band Ghost, which is fantastic as well. So definitely check out that band if you haven't listened to them, and they're definitely going to be up your alley if you like black metal. They're not super far out like, again, the experimental stuff, or like the Black Death, or is this war metal, or is this black metal, is this black thrash, whatever. No, straight up black metal with Thronium. Now this one is a little different. I did mention this band previously, but I feel like these 2 releases are much more straight black metal compared to the newer stuff by this band, and this is Belphegor. So this is a double release here, which is really cool. Double CD. I absolutely love Belphegor, except for maybe the last 2 albums. They just kind of got a little too slow for me. But this is The Last Supper and Blood Sabbath, and this to me is just undeniably black metal. Their later stuff, which I also really enjoy, like Bondage Goat Zombie, Pest Apocalypse, I think is the name of one of the albums. I own like 3 or 4 other albums. That's much more Black Death. One of the few Austrian bands I actually know too as well, just kind of interesting. So them, Disastrous Murmur and Pungent Stench. But great band, and if you are more along the lines of like a black metal purist, I mean, you could correct me in the comments if you think otherwise, but I would definitely argue that these first two releases are pretty much straight black metal. So definitely recommend it. The album art is really cool too, especially for The Last Supper. It's got like this weird ghostly fetus thing chopped up on the table. Unfortunately, just used kind of lame-o art for the double cover, or for the cover for this double album, but I think it's in here somewhere, I'm sure, but it's a great release. So definitely check these both out. And if you find this release specifically, I think it's cool. I own a few of these double releases. Like I have one for the first two King Diamond albums. I'm sure there's a few others, but yeah, 2 for 1. Last Supper, Blood Sabbath. Blood Sabbath, not Butt Sabbath. Well, I guess that could be a funny Black Sabbath cover band. I'm not going to do it, but hey, take that idea if you want. Next is one release I've definitely shown off before, and this is about as true black metal as you're ever going to get, especially for those who are really the cult underground black metal people. And this is The Split, Vlad Tepes, and Belkatir. So this is definitely outside my wheelhouse, but I really did enjoy it. This is something I don't normally listen to, which is probably why I liked it so much. It was so refreshing and different. So this is March to the Black Holocaust. I think this is a great release. I first listened to a few songs on YouTube because, band gets kind of thrown under the bus. Actually, both do a little bit as like the sort of no riff, boring, who could listen to this black metal that all the tough guys like. And I wanted to check it out just in case, just to kind of see what it was all about. Because like I said before in other videos, especially the ones talking about my guilty pleasures, I don't really like to judge something until I've actually listened to it, even if I'm almost 100% positive I won't like it, just in case I do. And then if I don't, I can just kind of confirm I don't really like it. But I thought this was interesting. Definitely something I don't need a million things by. I don't need to listen to every band of this style for sure. I could still understand how, for the most part, I wouldn't say unlistenable garbage by any stretch, but definitely not something I'd normally be spinning. But definitely still interesting and cool and worth listening to. So this is probably the only release I'm going to need by these bands, and it's a split, so that goes to show you how much I really need. There's only a couple of songs by each band, but definitely still cool, definitely still different and interesting, worth picking up. Last two releases. So this one especially could technically fall straight under the Black Death. So let me know what you think of exactly how you'd like to categorize this. But this was a band I'm very glad that I was introduced to, and I own a couple of releases by them. One of which I think I showed off the LP for, but I'm not 100% positive because I have a pretty bad memory, and especially when you do these videos every day, I don't even remember necessarily what I filmed a week ago. So, but it's the band Slotbath, which I really love. Slotbath, they are awesome, and this is Hail to Fire. So I have a few releases by them. I have the Alchemical Warfare, I have the CD LP and the shirt. Really enjoy that release. I have this release, and I believe I have at least one or two more. One of them I think is maybe like a compilation of singles or demo or something. And then this release I think is just a straight up album as well. But great South American music. Again, sort of more in the vein of Black Death, I guess. But Slotbath is awesome. Check them out. Highly recommend it. And then last but not least, I'm pretty sure this goes... this is 100% black metal, but the band did change their sound a bit, and they had some super weird song titles and stuff too. But this is great, and it's super goofy, and it's unfortunate that they had to change the cover, and I'll get to that in a second because I was actually just responding to someone because I also showed the same album but LP in my A to Z video, and that is the band Impaled Nazarene with the album Ugra Karma. So what had happened with the original version, which I had read online, so the original cover, they had actually taken a Hare Krishna cover from one of their books. And if you don't know Hare Krishna, I guess that's a little bit before my time, but supposedly they used to kind of stand around in airports and try to hand out pamphlets to people. I remember like The Simpsons making fun of them. I think it was maybe two evangelists kind of came off and were bothering Hare Krishna and like kind of turning it around. But basically they had used the cover from that book, and they had actually sued. The Hare Krishnas had sued the band, and I think when this was on Osmos Productions originally, and it was kind of funny because someone in the band, I think, was quoted as saying, for this religious group that supposedly doesn't care about earthly possessions, they sure did when it came to suing us. So I thought that was pretty funny. But either way, this is a great release, great band. They definitely changed a lot later on. I can't vouch for a ton of their later releases, but a few of the ones that I have listened to, I did like. So, but this is the one I'm most familiar with. This is the earliest one. I really do enjoy it, and I imagine people watching this video do too. So let me know what you think in the comments. And also, don't forget, I have 3 tiers of channel memberships. Any money that I make from that is just going to be reinvested back into this channel, and especially to Unbaptized Records. Really want to get that off the ground this year. A lot of financial things hitting me from left, right, and center. So any money I get from that will just go to the label, and it'll go back into this channel, buying more CDs and shooting in more weird locations like I am here. So I will see you in the next video.